Did you know that Christianity is the world's largest religion, with over 2.3 billion followers? That's nearly 1/3 of the global population. From its humble beginnings over 2,000 years ago, Christianity has seen remarkable growth, spreading to almost every corner of the world. Yet, despite this vast influence, there are still places where practicing Christianity can cost you your freedom or even your life. In some countries, simply owning a Bible or attending a church service could lead to imprisonment or worse. In today's video, we'll explore 10 countries where Christians are banned or face severe persecution, backed with real stats to display the shocking realities Christians endure daily. 10. Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, converting to Christianity is not only dangerous, it can be deadly. The country's strict interpretation of Islamic law makes leaving Islam a capital offense. According to the Open Doors World Watch List, Afghanistan ranks as one of the most dangerous places for Christians. It's estimated that 99.8% of the population is Muslim, leaving the Christian community, mostly made up of secret converts, highly vulnerable. They must practice their faith in complete secrecy to avoid severe punishment from the government, the Taliban, and even their families. The consequences of being discovered as a Christian in Afghanistan can include imprisonment, torture, or execution, making this a place where faith must remain hidden at all costs. 9. North Korea. North Korea is known for its iron-fisted rule and extreme hostility toward any religion, especially Christianity. Kim Jong-un's regime views Christianity as a direct threat to its authority, with many seeing it as a Western influence meant to undermine the government. Christians caught practicing their faith face immediate imprisonment in labor camps, where torture, starvation, and executions are common. According to reports from Human Rights Watch, an estimated 50,000–70,000 Christians are currently imprisoned in North Korea, often for nothing more than owning a Bible or being suspected of Christian beliefs. Entire families can be punished, and many Christians never see freedom again once they're caught. 8. Somalia. In Somalia, being a Christian is a matter of life or death. The government, influenced by Islamic extremist groups like Al-Shabaab, enforces strict adherence to Islam. Conversion to Christianity is seen as a betrayal, often met with execution by militants or family members to maintain honor. Somalia is ranked 3rd on the World Watch List for Christian persecution, and Christian converts must go to great lengths to hide their faith. Many flee the country or practice in secret, as discovery almost always results in violent death. Christianity is effectively banned, and the few believers who exist are in constant danger. 7. Libya. Since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi, Libya has spiraled into chaos, with various extremist groups rising to power. Christians, especially immigrants and foreign workers, face intense persecution in this lawless environment. Churches have been destroyed, and Christians are regularly abducted by Islamic militants. The U.S. State Department reported that Christian migrants are frequently subjected to violent attacks, forced conversions, and even slavery. Openly practicing Christianity is virtually impossible, and Libyan Christians have been forced underground to survive. Number 6. Yemen. Yemen's ongoing civil war has created a fertile ground for extremist groups, leaving Christians in a precarious position. With 99.1% of Yemen's population being Muslim, Christianity is seen as foreign and dangerous. Conversion from Islam is strictly forbidden and is punishable by death. Yemen ranks as one of the most dangerous places for Christians, with many hiding their faith to avoid execution. Christian humanitarian workers have also been targeted and killed, adding to the hostility that believers face. In this environment, Christians live under constant surveillance by both local communities and extremist factions. 5. Eritrea. In Eritrea, religious freedom is tightly controlled by the government, which only recognizes certain Christian denominations, like the Eritrean Orthodox Church. Those who belong to unregistered or illegal Christian groups face severe consequences. The Eritrean government is notorious for imprisoning Christians without trial, often subjecting them to torturous conditions in shipping containers, where they endure scorching heat during the day and freezing temperatures at night. There are estimates that hundreds of Christians are currently held in these inhumane conditions. Despite the repression, underground Christian movements continue, but at great personal risk. 4. Nigeria. Nigeria is a country where the persecution of Christians varies greatly by region. In the northern states governed by Sharia law, Christians face violent attacks from extremist groups like Boko Haram and the Fulani herdsmen. Churches are regularly burned down, and Christian communities are attacked, often with impunity. The International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law reports that thousands of Christians have been killed in northern Nigeria over the past decade. In the south, however, Christians experience greater freedom, highlighting the stark contrast within the same country. 3. Pakistan. Pakistan's notorious blasphemy laws are often weaponized against Christians, leading to wrongful accusations and even death sentences. These laws carry the death penalty for anyone accused of insulting Islam or its prophet, making Christians vulnerable to false claims. According to Amnesty International, 40% of the country's blasphemy cases target non-Muslims, especially Christians. Entire families are sometimes forced into hiding due to mob violence triggered by such accusations. Despite constitutional protections for religious minorities, the Christian community in Pakistan remains marginalized and constantly under threat. 2. Iran. In Iran, Christianity is tolerated only within the country's historic Armenian and Assyrian Christian populations. However, Muslims who convert to Christianity face severe punishment. Apostasy, or converting from Islam, is punishable by death under Islamic law. Christians, particularly converts, are frequently harassed, arrested, and imprisoned. Churches are monitored, and sharing one's faith with Muslims is strictly prohibited. Open Doors USA estimates that thousands of Iranian Christians are in prison simply for their faith. 1. India. While India's constitution protects religious freedom, growing Hindu nationalism has fueled widespread hostility toward Christians in certain states. Violent mobs, often supported by local officials, attack churches and Christian communities, accusing them of forced conversions. Several Indian states have passed anti-conversion laws, making it extremely difficult for Christians to practice their faith openly. In 2023, Human Rights Watch reported an increase in attacks against Christians, many of whom face beatings, arrests, and the destruction of their property, especially in rural areas. The courage of Christians living in these countries is nothing short of incredible. While many of us take our religious freedoms for granted, these believers face unimaginable risks just to practice their faith. It's a stark reminder of the persecution that still exists in our world today. Hopefully you learned something from this video, and if you're Christian, it might be smart to stay away from these countries.